The Indigenous Digital Archives Treaty Explorer, digitreaties.org, was created by the Museum of Indian Arts and Culture, Santa Fe, New Mexico, in partnership with the U.S. National Archives Office of Innovation and National Archives Foundation, with all of the technical work and software development by Digirati in Glasgow and London. Thanks to a generous anonymous donor, the U.S. National Archives have conserved and digitized the 374 ratified Indian treaties in their holdings. However, these are not currently available from the U.S. National Archives as IIIF. The ambition of the Treaties Explorer project was to take these treaties, convert them to IIIF, and then use this to bring them together with other sources of data, such as the GIS data maintained by the U.S. Forestry Service, images of historic maps maintained by the Library of Congress, and digitized versions of other printed documents held by Hathi Trust and by the Internet Archive. There are two broad classes of document that are found on the Treaty Explorer site. The first is the 374 ratified Indian treaties themselves, taken from the US National Archives. But also, in the late 19th century, there was an attempt by government clerks to organise all of the cessions of land between the native nations and the US state and plot these on maps, and these are known as cessions. We've tried to organise these both by document type, that is by treaty and by cession, but also by the associated present day and historic tribe that's associated with those documents, and also by the places that they are found and associated with. So let's take a look at the treaties, for example. So imagine I'm interested in the late 18th century, and I might have a particular interest in the Cherokee. I can click here to filter the list down to just those documents that cover the Cherokee in that period. There are 27 of these. This is comprising both the treaties themselves and some associated kind of subsidiary documents. If I click through to one of these that I might be interested in, such as Treaty 20, covering the Cherokee signed at Philadelphia in 1794, I can see the document via IIIF in the usual way, but I can also zoom in and see the signatories, both the native signatories and also, on behalf of the US, President George Washington. I can navigate on from here in a number of different ways. So I can, for example, click out to the US National Archives catalogue and find out more about this document, but I can also navigate out to the Cherokee tribe. And we can see here that we're plotting all of the different cessions of territory between the Cherokee and the US state on a map, and also on a timeline that includes the treaties as well as the cessions. There are links out to the present day associated tribes, and you can see here that for the Cherokee there are a huge number of treaties and associated territorial cessions. If I click through to one of these, for example this one, I can see that this is covering Tennessee, including Nashville, and I can see on the map in a lot of detail exactly where it covers. And I can also then click out in the same way either to the present day tribes associated with this cession or to the associated treaties, such as Treaty 11 that covers this, or I can click out to a historic map like this one of Tennessee and the bordering states, also available via IIIF, and here we've also associated this with all of the territories via the GIS data. If I'm interested in more of a place overview, I can click over to our place page, which plots all of the cessions, which gives you some kind of impact for just exactly how much of the US is covered. And the sections on the eastern seaboard here that aren't covered are primarily blank because they're covered by treaties that predate the founding of the United States. But perhaps I'm interested in browsing to my location, or maybe I have a place that I'm interested in, so perhaps I want to see something about Las Vegas, Nevada. I want to search the map. So I can zoom to Nevada and then click through to the associated session. And I can see here that the historic tribe associated with this is the Paiutes, and also which modern tribes are associated with this, and again any related historic maps and documents. I can click further through back to the Paiute and see all of the areas that they're covered by, and also again linking out to all of the present day tribes and the associated sessions and treaties in turn. So we can kind of loop around and join the circle between the treaties, the sessions, places, and both historic and present day tribes. If I want to come in a more kind of tribe-centric way, there's a list of tribes on the site that can be filtered. So for example, I could filter to just something like Cheyenne, and I can see all the modern and historic tribes associated with that name and navigate the content in exactly the same way. I hope you find the site interesting. There is also a guide created by Professor Sherry Thomas of Taos Pueblo, and there'll be additional educational resources and scholarly resources being added over time. I'm Matthew McGrattan from Digirati, and I hope you find the site interesting. Thank you.